Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Open Mike Podcast. Open Mike Podcast, unofficially brought to you by Liquid Death. Murder Your Thirst. Liquid Death, rest in peach, flavored with agave, vitamins, flavored tea, 19 milligrams of caffeine. Why quench your thirst when you can murder your thirst with Liquid Death? It's delicious. Oh man, I haven't been keeping up with the podcast lately. I just been busy living, and it happens. And I appreciate everybody's support. Though people still stop me and talk to me about the podcast, or they make comments. And my last episode got, especially on YouTube, got a lot of views. Probably one of the top. It's been a while since I've gotten as many views as that episode got, so I appreciate all the love and the support. And yeah, man, I've just been busy with life, and so I haven't been able to get on and podcast as much. I skipped a week, and that's gonna happen, man. Sometimes, when it comes to things like this, and it's a lot to keep up with. But the weather's been good, hasn't been hot, no humidity, so I've been getting outside a lot more, and it's also given me an opportunity to do some things outside around the house and just spend time with family and um, yeah, man, just live. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people who are big. Like I think about people who are influencers or people that just kind of make a living through social media, and everybody's always. I think everybody has the opinion that people that do that, it's easy money, right? But that's not true because I mean, you think that the amount of times those people record and make content, and you only see like the content that they post. You don't see the stuff that they record that they don't post, or maybe like fails or whatever, right? So you only see the things that they post. They literally do that all day. Like every aspect of their life, I feel like is captured and put out there for the world to see. And so, um, I don't think, I got a niece and a nephew that were big on social media, big on TikTok, and it's a lot. It's a lot of work, man. It just don't, you just don't wake up one day and thinking I'm gonna just start recording videos with my phone, and that's a good way to start. But that's if you're trying to like go somewhere, like take it to the next level, whatever. It takes a lot of work, and it's a lot. So everybody thinks it's oh man, it's so easy. It's not. And then you gotta bring the attention, right? Like, why should I watch you over this person? So it's a lot. So I think people that do that like day in day out every day, I don't think I could do that. Um, I try to post videos and content, and I try to do some funny stuff on social media, or whatever, and repost. And it's hard because weeks will go by, and I won't post anything for a couple of days. So, but yeah, hey man, you know what really bothers me sometimes? So I know somebody. I'm not gonna call the name, but the name rhymes with Mo. Peeing on a toilet seat. I don't understand. If you're a kid, you don't know no better. I get that. But if you're a grown ass adult male, and you're still peeing on the toilet seat because you're not lifting the seat up, I don't know. That just like why? How are you still peeing on a toilet seat as a grown ass adult? Like I don't understand why it's so hard to just lift the seat up. Or if you do say, all right, I'm not lifting the seat up, I'm just gonna let it rip. Clean it off. Wipe it off. Like I don't know why that's so hard. And Mo, name rhymes with Mo. I mean, he's my buddy. He's a good guy, but you gotta stop pissing on the toilet seat, dude. Seriously. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you keep doing that. And I get on him too when he does it. Man, you can't keep doing that. Lift the seat up. I'm always like, do you do this at home? Because I bet your wife, I can't picture she's okay with that. But I ain't want to call no names. I ain't trying to put him out there. I ain't trying to throw him under the bus. Just saying. Name rhymes with Mo. Mo, lift the damn toilet seat up. Stop peeing on it. Sit down to pee if you're too lazy to lift the seat, or wipe the damn thing off. That's all I gotta say. I don't know what y'all think about that, but anyways, man, I hope everybody's having a good summer so far, man. Kids went back to school here this past week. Um, so I'd like to talk about that for a little bit. It seems like every year when school starts, we always get something in the news about somebody went around a school bus while the bus was stopped. You know, some kid got hit, kid almost got hit, somebody got in an accident with a school bus, whatever. Hey, man, no matter what you're doing, like, I want everybody to understand this. You are not more important than anyone else to somebody else. You think that I think too many people nowadays think the world revolves around them. And I get the whole, like, I got to do me. I got to take care of me. I got to look out for me because nobody else is going to look out for me. I get that. I understand that. But that mentality, you also can't, like, just act like nobody else exists, or nobody else is having to go to work, or nobody else has somewhere to be, and nobody else has some kids. Look, man, kids don't ask to be in this world. And for those of us who choose to have children, and maybe some people didn't, right? That's fine. People have kids not planned, and they don't love them any less. Right? I want to be clear with that, what I'm saying. But kids, like, we have to protect our. These are the people that are going to run our country and take over one day and do. And we have to protect our children. And I didn't hear any news this week, but normally every year you hear about somebody going around a school bus when the bus is stopped to pick up or drop off kids and this, that, and the other. And man, that type of stuff is in it. It's not. It's unexcusable. And so kids start. This week, next week, there's some school. Like, all I'm saying is, man, just be careful. If you know it takes you 30 minutes to get to work, and when school's in, you maybe get behind a school bus. You might have to drive through a school zone. Uh, there's a lot more parents, like, kind of on the road. If you know all that, right, then you got to leave earlier to go to work. I don't want to hear the bullshit that I got behind a school bus, I'm running late. No, you know that school's in, buses are going to be out, more people are going to be out on the road. You got to plan accordingly for the extra drive time or whatever. But you ain't no more important. So don't think you can just drive around school. Man, Lord, don't let me see any of that. Don't ever let me see it. Cause it's gonna be it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a misunderstanding on on the spot. It's gonna be a problem. And, like, so I'm just saying, man, everybody be safe out there. Look out for the kids, man. Kids don't ask to be here. We gotta protect them. And just be more aware, just be, don't be so self-contained in your own self that your own world, you just don't care about nothing else and no one else around you, because that's not how life is, man. We all gotta live, and you know on this rock floating around in space. uh we all gotta live together, man. Try to get along and help each other and work together. So Yeah, look out for school buses. Be safe. Leave 10 minutes earlier in the morning if you drive through a school zone or whatever. And let's be safe, man. Let's protect the kids. Let's protect ourselves and just be smart, man. That's public service announcement. You know, watch out for the school buses. Abide the laws. Don't try to go around them. When the bus is slowing down, you know they're about to stop. Don't go zooming by. Because, man, I'm going to tell you, dude, the last thing anybody wants is to run over someone's child and take them away from that family. You don't want you don't want that. You don't want that on your conscience for the rest of your life. I can promise you that. And you don't want to take that away from the family either. So just drive safe, slow down, leave for work earlier, whatever you got to do, plan accordingly, man, and just I'm gonna get off my soapbox now, but that's just I just want everybody to know that just be safe and look out for the chillings. So, um, I saw an article this week on AI. I posted a video. I talked a while back, a couple of episodes ago, about the China soccer team, and they were trying to use AI to put together these robots that were playing soccer. And I found a video on Instagram, posted. It was funny as hell. It made I laughed my ass off, but it was ridiculous, right? And then I see these like military videos of like, you know, dogs that they've created, like robots, and they're using AI and this, that, and the other. And then I saw an article the other day where they was talking about AI. It reminded me of the movie Terminator 2, because the Terminator 2, the T-1000 Terminator was like a liquid type metal, and he could get out of any, like you could put him in jail. You could, if there was just a pinhole, he could turn himself into liquid and kind of go through that hole. And then I read an article the other day. Let's see if I can pull it up. Where they had made this robot, whatever, and it was like the Terminator. It was like T-1000 Terminator because um it literally was like some type of magnetic um liquid hand. No, that's not it. It just reminded me of the Terminator because it was like some AI liquid robot, and I was just like, damn, that's where we're going. Like, man, haven't we seen? Like, I've seen. So let's talk about AI for a minute. And there was another article I read that said AI, like some AI, tried to duplicate itself, and I read the article. It was the headline was kind of misleading because it said AI tried to like duplicate itself, and then when it was questioned, it denied it. Basically, that AI, what they did was they put the AI in a scenario, like say the world was ending or what. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they gave it like a doom and gloom scenario. So the AI was trying to duplicate itself, and that's why it was duplicating itself because it was given like a post apocalyptic type scenario. So it was trying to duplicate itself. Why it denied it, I don't know. I've talked about AI a little bit before. I don't like I've used AI. I don't trust AI in the form of like if we're gonna put it in robots or whatever, or if we're gonna like I've seen. We can go back to like 2001: A Space Odyssey, that movie, right? Which I think was made in the 60s, maybe the 70s. I can't remember. But Hal, who was the AI system on the spaceship, um, kind of took over, and then they planned to get in and deactivate Hal, and Hal they muted it so he couldn't hear it, so Hal couldn't hear them, but Hal was able to read their lips and know their plot, so they kind of locked them out, and then like you think about the aliens movies, they had cyborgs in there that used artificial intelligence, and they almost every one of those alien movies, they turn, they go kind of haywire, and then they're like, because they start to think they know what's best for humanity in all these movies, all these scenarios. I, Robot's another one. Will Smith, great movie. Terminator, the machines took over Skynet, whatever. Like, I've seen enough movies, and I get it. It's like it's not real, but it's starting to be real. That's the problem. So all these movies, like that use AI, cyborg, whatever, they all turned on the human race, or they all felt at some point they knew what was best for humans, or they would decide, humans were killing the planet, they were destroying each other, they were destructive, they didn't deserve to be here anymore, whatever. And then the machines, the AI would turn on people. Um, I don't know. It's a lot of mystery. Um, it's a lot of unknown about AI and artificial intelligence, and then shit, man, I don't know. Maybe I just watch too many movies. Maybe that's what it is. But it's I think it's worth talking about though. Like AI and um. I'm just looking at some articles about AI right now. The catastrophic risk of AI and the safer path. Um, nah, get out of here. No, hell no. Yeah, AI, 15 risks and dangers of artificial intelligence. So there's always risk, like everything, right? But like I went in a warehouse the other day, and it was automated and it used AI. And so, like, they had these racks. It was a similar warehouse, kind of like to the job I do, but they had these racks with these boxes. And normally, a human would take the boxes or on a pallet or whatever upstairs. We'd put them on the shelf, scan them to the location, whatever. Well, this company, they still had that, but then they had a section of the warehouse that was racked out, and it used AI. And um, the guy said it was kind of like a trial thing, but I watched this thing like take boxes up on a little conveyor and, and it go up and it put it in a slot, whatever. And I said, "Damn, man, that's like that really." But that's gonna that it kills people's jobs, right? Because now you kind of don't need. He's like, all the person has to do basically, they don't have to go retrieve the box or put the box away. They just verify what's in it and then send it. And but he said the problem was when it goes down, it's down. Like it's not even this warehouse, it wasn't set up to where you could still go in the rack and retrieve the box. It has to be done like through AI or through automation. So he's like, it's great when it works. When it goes down, it's um. The thing I want to know is can AI be smarter than us? Right? Like I'm assuming we created AI, right? And I used to tell people, people that write code, right? Like for instance, you go to the hospital, you get an X-ray, right? Well, the code that's written by a person tells it how much radiation to give, whatever. Well, if you wrote the code wrong, you potentially expose someone to too much radiation. So AI is only as good as the people who write it. Um, but can AI continue to get more intelligent than humans, right? And if that's the case, how do you prevent it? And because I feel like AI constantly it's always evolving, so to speak. Um, and maybe I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but yeah, just automation. Like the more you come up with that, you're just you're putting humans out of work. Um, that's one thing that I think of, especially when that guy showed me that. So, um, yeah, AI and deep learning models can be difficult to understand, even for those who work directly with the technology. Leads to a lack of transparency in how and why AI comes to its conclusions, creating a lack of explanation for what the data AI algorithms use. Job loss due to AI automation. social manipulation through AI algorithms. Uh, Politicians rely on platforms to promote their viewpoints, with one example being Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Wielding a TikTok troll arm to capture the votes of younger Filipinos during the Philippine 2022 election. TikTok, which is just one example of a social media platform that relies on AI algorithms. Social surveillance with AI technology, lack of data privacy using AI tools, biases due to AI. Various forms of AI bias are detrimental. Speaking to the New York Times, Princeton computer science professor, AI bias goes well beyond gender and race. In addition to data algorithmic bias, AI is developed by humans, and humans are inherently biased. So, social and economic inequality as a result of AI, weakening ethics and goodwill because of AI, autonomous weapon powered by AI. AI is too often the case. Technological advancements have been harnessed for warfare. When it comes to AI, some are keen to do something about it before it's too late. So, financial crisis brought by AI algorithms, loss of human influence, uncontrollable self-aware AI. There's a worry AI will progress in intelligence so rapidly that it will become conscious and sentient and act beyond human controls, possibly in a malicious manner. Increased criminal activity. As AI technology become more accessible, the number of people using it for criminal activity has risen. So there you go. Mental deterioration. As AI tools become more daily life, concerns grow about long-term effects on psychological health, mental ability. Yeah, people use AI to write things, and I mean nowadays, like you don't know people using AI to write songs. Like you don't even need to write music. Like I've done that on the podcast, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just worry too much, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about AI. I think it can be cool sometimes, especially if you like want to know something real quick. You can just ask AI. Like people used to Google, now you just AI. You just go to AI. Problem with AI is like when you're trying to type in like get a response to something or whatever, it doesn't take like human emotion or whatever into account. But I just think about all these movies, AI, and they all turn at some point. Now, normally there was somebody behind it, but like the Aliens movies, there was not. Like they just went haywire and thought they knew what was best. So I don't know. What y'all think about AI, man? Open Mike Podcast 76 at Outlook.com. Anybody want to email and talk about AI? Hit me up. Hit me up and talk about AI. Man, preseason football started. Actually started last week. It was the Hall of Fame game, but then we had games last night and then today. And I love football, man. Don't get me wrong. But some teams, they put a lot. Every team has a different emphasis they put on preseason. Like I like Washington, and their head coach says, preseason's for people trying to win a job, so they don't play really any starters at all, and it reflects when you watch the game. And it's football, man. I get it. I love it, and there's not much on TV that I watch, but preseason football is hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Like that game last night was forever, and it's because it's a penalty fest. I mean, these guys are pros, but they're probably not going to make the team. Most of it's third and fourth string guys and trying to make a name for themselves. So you get a lot of penalties. People that lack discipline. It's just I don't know. Preseason is almost hard to watch. I remember back in the day, man, they played like 4 or 5 preseason games. Now they didn't cut it down to 3 because they're you worry about guys getting hurt and stuff like that. But I'm just happy to have football back. Actually, what I was thinking about, and I don't know, anybody interested? Like I said, you can message me on my social. Uh, Instagram, on TikTok, Facebook, whatever. Or you can email openmikepodcast76 at outlook.com. But I was thinking about starting a fantasy football league. So anybody out there that would like to, like to play some fantasy football, I play fantasy football. Um, I do FanDuel fantasy football, and anybody like to, maybe I'll start a league, and anybody wants to get in, shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram, on social media, and let me know if there's some interest there. Then if there's some interest there, then you know, I'll start a little league, Open Mike Podcast Fantasy Football League, and see how it goes. But anybody interested, let me know. Then maybe we can work on that. But I like fantasy because it I mean I have a favorite team clearly, but it keeps you interested in like other games, and so it's kind of cool. Like I wasn't really a fan of it back in the day, but um I became more of a fan of fantasy football over the years. So yeah, anybody, maybe we can start a open mic podcast fantasy football league. Anybody wants to participate, let me know. Hit me up. Open mic podcast 76 outlook.com. Hit me up on social media. Or drop a comment on the when you watch this episode of Open Mic Podcast. Anybody watching, if y'all want to join in, drop a comment, drop a like.
For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.
Like and subscribe. Anybody watching, I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Get it going. Watch me on Instagram, man. Keep up with my Instagram. I post. I think I'm funny sometimes. Sometimes it might not be, but get me on there. Get me in your algorithm. So I'm popping up on the daily, and you can give me some love. But I start this segment called "What's Up with That" with some weird headlines, and I always talk about like I talked about last week, last podcast about Florida, like so many crazy headlines from Florida, and it's usually like a Florida man. Well, there's actually a website dedicated to headlines that are a Florida man. And so this week's segment of What's Up with That is going to be dedicated only to a Florida man. So without further ado,
What's up with that? What's up with that?
what's up with that? Florida man, floridaman.com. And there's some crazy headlines from a Florida man. But we're going to start off with a Florida man arrested for pooping on a possum in public. Let's see. Close. What in the world? Florida man even confuses us sometimes. This is definitely one of those times. Florida man was arrested this time for pooping on a dead possum on a street in Clearwater during rush hour traffic. Police report obtained by the Smoking Gun describes the scene of a crime in graphic detail. According to the report, Florida man was observed defecating on deceased possum with his pants lowered and high anal region exposed. What the hell is your high anal region? Police witnessed 45-year-old Robert Wilcox while he was taking his dump on a dead marsupial. Report said he did this during rush hour traffic. What the hell? What the hell?
You've got mail.
Say what?
Yeah. Say what? That's crazy. Florida man burglar tries to make a getaway in a golf cart, lands in a pond. The Florida man is accused of breaking into Lady Lake home and stealing a TV set and a set of house keys. Cops found him after they found his golf cart in the pond. It's crazy, man. A Florida man. Oh my God. This is crazy. Y'all gotta check this out. FloridaMan.com. Florida man tries to shoot puppy. Puppy shoots him instead. A Florida man was shot by one of 7 puppies he was attempting to kill when one of them put the paw on the trigger of his gun. That's what you get, you sorry piece of trash. How you gonna shoot the damn puppy? A man who tried to shoot 7 puppies was shot himself when one of the dogs put his paw on the revolver's trigger. Jerry Allen Bradford, 37, was being treated at a hospital for a gunshot wound to his wrist. Bradford said he decided to shoot the 3-month-old shepherd mixed dog in the head because he couldn't find him a home, according to the sheriff's office. Terrible. On Monday, Bradford was holding 2 puppies, one in his arm, another in his left, when the dog in his hand wiggled and put his paw on the trigger of the .38 caliber. The gun then discharged. Shot his ass. Bow. Gangster shit. Dog said, "You gonna shoot us? Nah, we're gonna shoot your ass." Dogs are in good health, taken by animal control, plan to make them available for adoption. What a piece of garbage. I mean, how bad you gotta be, man, to do something like that. Here we go. Florida cop. Florida man tells. Oh, man, these are funny. What? No. Man. What in the world's going on with my computer? Florida man was arrested after giving cop the finger and telling him his name was Ben Dover. Then sent occurred back in November when the deputies sought to remove the Florida man who was in a park in St. Pete after hours. After being asked to identify himself, the Florida man responded by stating his name was Ben Dover. Oh man, this is golden right here. This is typical right here. Florida man headline. This is your Florida man headline. Florida man attacks mom with corn on the cob. Florida man faces battery charges after attacking his mother with a corn cob. Deputies say 27-year-old Cody Cummins threw a corn cob at his mother, striking her on top of the head. The woman was hurt but didn't have any physical injuries, according to the arrest report. Florida man fled the scene after the attack, but was later arrested on domestic battery charges, being held on a $150 bond. $150 bond? What the hell? But yeah, attacked his mother with a corn cob. Here's another one. Crazy. I think Florida is a cesspool, to be honest. I was having that discussion, not argument. I was having that discussion with a friend of mine earlier. It's full of serial killers and pedophiles. Florida man charged with picking magic mushrooms while carrying an alligator. What the hell? Anyways. Yeah, this week's segment of What's Up With That is dedicated to Florida man, because if an article starts with Florida man, it's not gonna make no damn sense. And as you can see, and there's a million others on here. Florida man with state tattooed on his head called 911 for a ride home. He literally has the state of Florida tattooed like right here. Florida man breaks into home, sucks on sleeping man's toes. Florida man's get beat up by the Easter Bunny. This dude is literally, it's like somebody in an Easter Bunny outfit, and there you can see he's throwing nuts. Florida man sexually assault stuffed Olaf doll at Target. I'm telling you, man, Florida's a special place. That's all I can say. And anybody that lives in Florida, don't take offense to it. I'm just saying, man, that if you live in Florida, Florida's a weird place. Now a lot of people love Florida. It's got Disney World and all that stuff, but I'm just saying, a lot of pedos and serial killer, a lot of racists in Florida too. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie All About the Benjamins, but again, out of that movie, Ice Cube goes in to bust uh damn, what's that actor's name? Michael Hall, John Michael Hall, maybe. He's in there watching some racist ass cartoon, Confederate flag hanging from the window. A lot of people was like, man, how was Florida? Like, Florida wasn't even much, was nothing during the Confederate, during the Civil War. Or, they wasn't original Southern states. So how they get so many like racists in Florida and the Confederate flag and all that? I guess they migrated south. I don't know. You got to think that whole like area. Um, Go back to like civil rights movement and all that, like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, all those areas. So Florida. Uh, I don't remember hearing much about Florida during the civil rights era. It was mostly Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, where a lot of that stuff took place. The movie Mississippi Burning, I've seen it a million times, but we watched it in school one year. I can't remember if it was 10th or 11th grade, and a girl in class got upset. She did not want to watch that movie, and I could kind of understand, 'cause it's a very it's a raw movie, man. It's a great movie. Gene Hackman, um, is Willem Dafoe in that? I'm trying to remember who the other actor is in that movie. It's a great movie though. If nobody's ever seen it, Mississippi Burning, it's a good movie. Speaking of movies, man, I loved Happy Gilmore, and Happy Gilmore 2 came out on Netflix, and it's got a lot of hate, man. A lot of people didn't like it. It wasn't bad. It's a ton of cameos in it, like a lot of cameos. But I feel like a lot of like Adam Sandler's movies now that are made on or for Netflix I feel like they're all kind of like that. And then he uses the same actors in all his movies, but he's done that forever, right? But it's a lot of cameos, a lot of flashbacks going back to the original, um, Happy Gilmore. But it wasn't bad. If you like the original and that type of humor is kind of like your thing, um, then I think you'll like Happy Gilmore too. I actually watched it a couple times because I felt like the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't feel like it's that good. But it wasn't bad, honestly. It's gotten a lot of hate. It had a lot of funny scenes in it. Um, but a lot of people said it was way too many cameos, way too many flashbacks from the original. But that's why I kind of liked it. It was like nostalgic, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. So if anybody hasn't seen it and you like the original Happy Gilmore, I think you'll like this one. And uh, no, I give it a thumbs up. I think everybody should check it out. It's a pretty good show. So, um, but yeah, man, uh, living the dream, as people say. I got a tattoo recently of my cat Gucci. Uh, it was the shop. Is it called Killer Bee? Killer Bee Tattoos. I don't know. I post a picture. I'll tag the artist in it, but she did a pretty good job. Um, when I say pretty good, you did a great job. I'm not very like when people say, "Hey, do you like it?" Yeah, it was all right. It was just all right. I don't like get very. I don't use a lot of word like I'm like, man, that's freaking awesome or wow. It's just like, yeah, it was good, just good. I don't say, yeah, it's great. It's I just don't describe things that way. So people are always like, it was just good. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's good is better than saying it's bad or it sucks, right? Like, if it's no good, I'll be like, nah, I ain't like it. Or if it's good, you say, yeah, I like this. I enjoyed it. So when I say it's pretty good, the tattoo is awesome, right? So it's kind of like a photorealism type tattoo. So I think she did a great job. Um, she's still an apprentice, I believe, still. So she's still learning and doing things, but she did a wonderful job, and it was kind of on my knee, and that's a painful spot, but she did good. It was killing me though at the end. I ain't gonna lie. It was. She was like, "Yeah," I couldn't tell by the way you were sitting. I've always sat great for my tattoos, right? Like I'm set like a rock. I don't move. Even during pain, I'm just like, might be clenching the old buttocks a little bit, but yeah, I usually sit pretty good. I don't like squirm and scream. Like I don't flinch. I don't do all that. Sometimes you get some involuntary move. For anybody that doesn't have any tattoos, this isn't probably gonna make any sense, but like I've gotten tattoos in my arm, and like you can feel it in other parts of your body. It's so weird. But you get a lot of involuntary movement sometimes too from the nerves, or it kind of reminds me of like when the doctor used to hit your knee for the reflex. Um, Kind of reminds me of that. So certain areas you're getting tattoos, and I get a lot of questions because I have a lot of tattoos, and usually most questions people get, the number one question I get is probably about the pain, right? Because I got my neck done, my knees done, my feet done, my back done, hands. Um, Usually everybody asks me like pain and what was your most painful spot. And you could ask 10 people this question and get 10 different answers because we're all different. And there's some days I could tolerate it more than others. And as I've gotten older, I don't think I tolerate it as good as I used to. Um, but yeah, tattoos hurt. Yeah, I've had people say they fell asleep. I just don't believe that. I just don't. I just think it's BS. Tattoos hurt, and then I see these videos of like people getting and like put to sleep to get like their entire body tattooed. Not That's gotta hurt when you wake up. I just can't imagine how that feels. Like your entire body is gonna be sore, and you've had like four people tattooing you. Man, that's a lot of trauma on your skin. So I don't know. To me, I feel like that would hurt. Like I don't know what, but so yeah, tattooing hurts. Like I don't have like my armpit done. Like I've seen people with their armpits done, and I like some of my tattoos. Like my arm, like kind of gets in like close to the armpit. Man, that was rough enough. Felt like a hot soldering iron on your skin. I just can't imagine in the armpit, man. Um, this neck tattoo kind of goes up on. It's a little bit higher than the other one. It's kind of on the base of my skull right here a little bit. It has some bite to it, but the knee, like they say, the palms of the hands, because you have so many, so many nerves endings there. That hurts a lot, and the skin's there is kind of hard. Like I got my fingers tattooed. If anybody can you see that? It's like a lightsaber. I got a lightsaber on that finger and a lightsaber on that finger, like knuckles. But the skin's different there, so the ink tends to fall out. So a lot of people, I've seen some like bad, like rad, like palm tattoos, and it's like they don't use a color or anything. It's just like thick black bold lines, and I think it looks good. But I use my hands so much, especially like at work or working out, or working on cars or whatever. I think it would just be pointless to go through that pain to get that done. So I don't know, maybe one day, but I think it looks cool. It's just if it falls out, it's gonna look like crap, and then it's just like, man, I put myself through all that pain and spent the money for nothing. So I don't know. Yeah, I feel like everybody has tattoos now. I remember a time when like you saw people with tattoos and they would think like you were either like I've literally had somebody ask me like, how much time do you do or where did you serve? What? I ain't been in the military. I ain't been in jail. I ain't been in prison. I ain't done none of that. But there was a time when people who got tattoos, the stigma was attached that you were, a, a malcontent, a heathen, you didn't, or you was in the military, or you was in a biker gang, or you got tattoos in your prison. Like I have some tattoos that don't look great, but most of my tattoos you can clearly tell were not done in prison or jail. They're usually all black and white tattoos. Like people only do black tattoos in jail, so they don't have access to different color inks and stuff. So, but yeah, I've had people ask me that, or like people come like if you're in the middle of getting a tattoo done, you might get just got the outline, and you go back and get a filler, and somebody will be like, "Oh, are you gonna finish that?" And it's like, "Yeah," and then they're like, "Well, I got a cousin, they do tattoos at home, for very cheap, they could finish it for you," and I'm just like, "No, no hepatitis for me, thanks. I'll pass on the hepatitis for the day." I mean, if I was going to an artist and we did an outline or we started, why would I not go back to them and have some just random stranger that I don't know anything about tattoo me? That's just weird. People are just, I don't know, or people that touch you, right? Like they want to look at your That's, if you walk up to anybody, man, don't grab their arm and say, "Oh, wow, I love your tattoo." That's a no no. Man, don't touch people like that. If you want to see, just ask. Don't just walk up and grab somebody. Yeah, I think it usually happens to women. I don't think men have that problem. I think it's women that have that problem. And people are always so dismissive. Like, don't be dismissive. And somebody I talked about this with a friend of mine earlier today. People are so quick when someone makes a accusation or whatever, people just are so dismissive. And it's like if the accusation's untrue and someone's making a false statement or whatever, just let it play itself out. And the truth will come through, will come forward. But if you just get in the habit of dismissing people, eventually people just stop speaking up, saying anything. And then if something were to happen to them, they don't say anything. And then 5 years later, they get the courage to come out. And then people are like, well, why'd they wait 5 years? Who gives a shit? Who cares? They're coming forward. They're coming through with it now. Now I get it. A lot of like people in politics or people got money or whatever. Yeah, there's people that come up with these fake allegations to try to get money, or they'll, hope to get we can settle outside of court, But a lot of people that do that, a lot of people that are still innocent, like I didn't do this, but I'm gonna pay them anyway because I want it to just go away. Because if not, they're just gonna keep pursuing, go to court. And so I think innocent people pay them off because they just want them to go away. But don't be dismissive, man. I feel like that happens all the time. And if somebody comes to you and is like, "Hey, I've never told anybody this, but I want to share this with you," like listen to them and be genuine, right? They're confiding in you something that is important to them, or maybe something that happened to them and they didn't know what to do or how to talk about it. So don't be so dismissive, man. Listen to people, you know, show some empathy and try to help them if they want some help. Because clearly, when people come forward saying something happened to them or they didn't want this or that, um, and victims already feel like it was their fault anyway. Because that's just, I feel like we dismiss so much and we don't validate that. Just victims just start to feel like, well, it's my fault this happened. They already feel that way, so let's not make them continue to feel that way. So listen to them, validate, and let's say, hey, we're gonna get you some help, or we're gonna, how would you like to handle this? Um. So yeah, man, especially females. Anybody that has children, has a daughter. Last thing I think you'd want is for them to come to you and tell you they were, sexually assaulted or somebody touched them inappropriately or somebody made an advance on them they didn't like. So we don't want that to happen. So let's not be so quick to dismiss people. Let's listen to them and hold on. Sorry. You're getting ready to die on me. Plug it back in. Plug it in. Plug it in. Say Glade. But yeah, don't be so quick to dismiss people, man. That's anything, right? They could come to you and with anything they want to say. Just some, oh nah, it's all in your head, or that didn't really happen. Is that really what happened? Let's not make the victim feel more like a piece of crap. But anyway, everybody's favorite segment. That's probably mine too. Not gonna lie. Open Mike Mailbag.
You've got mail.
You got mail. So let's open up the old mailbag here, and let's see. See what we got in the old Open Mike Mailbag. Anybody wants to email the show? Open Mike Podcast 76 at outlook.com. If you'd like to just share something with me, that's fine. If you don't want it read on the show, please let me know that when you send the email. If not, then it might get read on the email. I don't know. We're going to start off with, here you go. Subject: thanks for the real talk. Hey, Mike, I just wanted to say thank you for being so open about mental health and work-life balance. I've been struggling as a single parent myself, and hearing your honesty about the hard days really helped me feel less alone. Keep it up. Rachel D. Rachel, I appreciate the email. I appreciate you listening to the show. Yes, mental health is very important to me. Mental health should be important to everybody. Work-life balance is tough to do. It's not easy. And I used to coach, and I would love to get back into coaching again at one point and trying to be involved with the community more. Coaching's all volunteer, and they lack volunteers, and they need more. So it's hard, it's hard, but it's nice. I'm glad, Rachel, that you feel that way, that um, listening to the podcast or listening to me talk about those things, it makes the hard days help you feel like you're less alone, and that's what this is all about. Always have an open ear to anyone or open eyes. I can read. Anybody having a bad day, bad week, whatever, mental health, you're struggling, reach out. Let's talk about it. You're not alone. You don't have to do this alone. So, Rachel, I appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate your email. Here we go. This podcast stinks. Mike, your podcast is like if Joe Rogan in a garage sale had a baby. That's weird. I made it through 4 minutes before my ears filed for a restraining order. Why are you yelling at me about liquid death? Anonymous, but you know who I am. No, I don't have no idea. And honestly, if the podcast isn't for you, then just move along. But I do appreciate the 4 minutes you made it in. Maybe try listening to some other episodes. I don't know. I appreciate the email, though. Anonymous, but you know who I am. Just put your name out there, Jack. How about that? Put a name. Don't be afraid. Anyway, moving on. Parenting humor. Subject: dad moves. Mike, my kid told me I was built like a Roblox character the other day. I've never been so hurt and impressed at the same time. Can we get a dad roast segment on your show? Kevin B, proud father too. Kevin B, appreciate the email. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be. I mean, Roblox characters are real blocky, right? Like kind of square. I don't know if I'd be impressed by that. Kids say the funniest things, man. I'm not gonna lie. Kids say the dangest things. Kids are so funny, man. I swear. And it's like kids are the greatest, man. Kids love unconditionally. Yeah, kids are tough, right? But it's kids are great, man. And for people that want them and can't have kids, I feel for you. It's that's tough. But kids are great, man, and they say some of the funniest things sometimes, and they're just I don't know. Kids are funny, man. But anyway, Kevin B, I appreciate you listening to the show. I appreciate the email. Uh, yeah, dad roast segment. Yeah, maybe I can do some dad joke. Maybe I'll do a segment next time on dad jokes, the corny dad jokes that everybody loves, though. Um, um, here we go. This show is a crime. Mike, your podcast should come with a warning label. I tuned in while eating cereal and almost choked when you compared my lord compared your dating life. My lawyer will be in touch. Carl, probably not my real name. Oh, okay. Well, at least you didn't go anonymous, Carl. Yeah, I don't know. Don't listen to my podcast when you're eating or drinking. You might get choked or spit your food or water or whatever you're drinking out. I don't know. Hey, man, my podcast ain't for everybody. There's a million podcasts out there. Find one that you like. But, anybody listens, I appreciate it. I appreciate the email call. Probably not your real name. I appreciate you taking time to listen and you sending the email. So that's good. Um, Here we go. Toddlers are ruthless. Mike, my 3-year-old told me I smell like outside and I don't even know what that means. Please do an episode on toddler insults. They hit harder than the adult ones. Emily B, tired mom. Emily B, appreciate the email. Appreciate you listening to the show. Man, I'm not gonna lie, man. The toddlers and kids will say some funny things. You smell like outside. That could be taken as a compliment or an insult. I guess you could smell like the grass was just mowed, or you could, if it spread manure outside on a farm, you could smell like that. I don't know. So that could be taken a lot of different ways. Um, let's do one more. Let's find one more. Gym politics. Mike, explain this to me. Dude, I saw a guy doing power cleans in a Smith machine today. Should I call the police or just mind my business asking for a friend? Big Dan from Gold's Gym. Big Dan, appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. Uh, I mean, it depends, man. Honestly, I don't think nobody should be doing power cleans in a Smith machine. I don't even know how that's possible. Probably not the safest thing. Probably not the most ideal, but at least they're in there doing something. You know what I mean? So there's a positive. I don't know your level of expertise when it comes to exercise, Big Dan. If you were comfortable, you could walk up to them and say, hey, there's a better way of doing this. If you wanted to offer some advice, some people are not very receptive to advice or criticism or whatever. So it's a risk. I would not call the police. I know that's a joke. You could just mind your business. It all depends. So I'd say mind your business, or if you genuinely feel like you could help this person, then you could walk up and say, "Hey, man, I'm not trying to, impose or anything. I just an observation. Just figured I'd offer some advice if you're open to it." I used to be a personal trainer, so I know what it's like to be in a gym and observe people. And trust me, I see it more than I see people putting in the work. I see a lot of things. It's like, things that make you go, things that make you go, Y'all remember that? But yeah, mind your business. That's good too. That works. Or if you want to approach and just say, hey man, I noticed you're doing this. Have you ever thought about trying this instead? Or just or ask them like, "Hey, you mind if I give you a little bit of advice?" And if they say no, then say, "All right, cool. Just I didn't want to bother you, or whatever." And if they say yeah, then yeah, try to give them a hand, help them out. That's what it's all about, man. Trying to help each other. Everybody's in the gym probably for the same reason. They're trying to get in shape. They're trying to lose a little bit of weight, maybe. They're trying to gain some weight, maybe. Not everybody in there wants to be a bodybuilder or a power lifter. Some people goes, they just generally want to be in some type of from a health perspective, they want to be in some type of healthy, shape or whatever. So I think we're all there with the same goal in mind, and I think we should all try to help each other. I have been guilty of that in the past. Um, Seeing people do some ridiculous stuff and would make a video and then would post it, and then as you get older and you become wiser and you become more, you grow up and you look back on those things and you kind of cringe. Like I look back on like social media posts from like 10, 15 years ago, and it's just things I said or things I posted, and you just kind of like, was I really one of those? Like, did I do that? And it's like kind of cringy. Um, but we're people, we're humans, and like I always say, the goal is to be better than I was yesterday. And every day I wake up, I try to be a better person than I was the day before. That don't always succeed with that. And I am only human. Um, and I think it's okay to have days where we don't do better and we kind of, you know, we fall back. As long as it's not a pattern and it doesn't become a habit, like, hey, you know what? Today I wasn't better than I was yesterday. Tomorrow I'm going to do better. And then we look ourselves in the mirror and we tell ourselves that. Um, Hold on. Yeah, just try to be better, man. But I wanted to make another little catchy tune to sing to sign off for the Open Mike podcast. Usually I feel like when I start singing, they all come across as country songs. I think that's just because of the way I talk. But here we go. That's a wrap. It's time to go. But we're back again before you know. The mic's been open. The talk's been real. We'll keep it rolling just how you feel. Open mic, we're signing off. Catch you next time. Don't go soft. Until then, we're always here. Tune in, laugh, and grab a beer. From guests and laughs to deep dives too, we've had some fun. We're glad you knew every story, every joke. Next episode, we'll keep it woke. Open mic, we're signing off. Catch you next time. Don't go soft. Until then, we're always here. Tune in, laugh, and grab a beer. So long for now. Take care, friend. Open mic podcast. See you again. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Open mic podcast. Peace.